My children watch me rebuild my life after divorce. Hi, my name is Ruth Marquise Darden, and I help women in their 30s and 40s plus rebuild and reinvent themselves after divorce, breakup, life change, all of that. So, one of the most emotional parts of my wedding was not walking down the aisle, even though it was pretty emotional. It was looking around and watching my children do TikToks, dance, say speeches, give speeches, and just be themselves in front of the crowd, and just are the older versions of themselves. Like I was looking at their videos this week. I'm sorry. 'Cause I really was looking at their stuff, and I found some videos I thought were lost, and it was just God reminding me that we've come a mighty long way. And I was telling you, man, the beautiful, beautiful part is that we survived the storms. We survived the dark nights and the electricity getting cut off and bugs and the not having a car and divorce and all these things and these obstacles that we had to face. But we faced them together. We braved the storm together. I love my kids. Like they are the best. So the wedding wasn't only about finding love again. It was about tightening the circle and gluing, the loose parts, right? And growing together. I'm so happy about the rain right now because I feel like it does mean a fresh start, that old things are passing through. And I know I talk about divorce a lot, but it's something that you guys are interested in. And for now, I am able to process what I'm going through. I'm able to feel it. And I was just realizing I wasn't feeling it. I'm sometimes when you're so busy in love, you're not feeling what you need to feel about what you went through that you never got to feel. I never got to feel about the pain of divorce because I was too much in survival mode to cry about it, to be mad about it, now that it's like it's good to have the good stuff, but the good stuff also reminds you what you did not have, what you were going without, how you were going on E for a very long time. For example, if you were a child that got a lot of toys, great for you. But I was a child that did not get a lot of toys. I did not get a lot of things that I want. So when I'm doing things for their birthday or I'm planning things, sometimes I have to like kind of sit with myself and say, it's okay, it's all right. You never got that baby doll or that bike that you wanted, or I did have one bike though. Somebody stole it. Like anything you got went left, right? But like you didn't get the stuff that you want, and you're giving it, you're giving what you never got, what you never received, and you have to be like, okay, you're kind of happy for them, but you're a little brokenhearted for yourself. That's what that's like. That's what fall in love again after a breakup feels like. And it's okay to feel those feelings, but don't feel them forever. Don't be lost. Don't be confused. Don't think, it'll never happen. Like good things will never happen for me because good things are happening. And what you gonna do about it, right? You're not gonna be um excited about the good stuff, of course. But good comes with bad. I've never seen a time where somebody was having a lot of great success and nothing bad was happening. It's always bad happening at the same time. That's why it kind of humbles you. It kind of keeps you grounded. That is like, okay, not everything's not good. People don't understand. Like, why would you complain right now because you didn't get XYZ? But when you're feeling it, when you're in it, I get it now. Why would that person actually complain? Because yeah, it's the best of time and the worst of time at the same time, right? So my children experienced divorce too. I have to acknowledge that. I have to realize that they had a breakup as well. And it's the most, imagine the people that you love the most. The two people that brought you in this world that you love the most is breaking up. It's like you want everything. It's like a car crash in slow motion. You want everything for them to stay together, but it's just not working out. And so I understand that part. There's people when I say I'm leaving my job, they're like, "Oh, don't go." You want them to like stay and but you understand it, but you're like, it would be so good if you just stayed right where I thought you was always going to stay. And that's how the kids feel during that divorce. I want you to be happy, mom, but I also want to be happy too, and I would prefer you stay in one house, and with time they understood what I was talking about. And they're like, "Well, why would you leave me?" Right. But they watched me struggle, they watched me work, and they watched me rebuild and try to keep our house together, try to keep our family together. We had lots of family dinners and lots of conversation over the years. It's really nice that I keep a lot of video because yeah, it just shout out to YouTube for that. Like if it wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't have like made these videos of when my kids were smaller, and I wouldn't even have those little moments that just mean the world to me now. And it makes me want to vlog right now. Like y'all just when y'all old, then I'm be like when y'all get 30s, I'm be like, dang, y'all was babies at this time. I should have had y'all on the video, like it or not. But I was just determined to keep going for them. There were times I didn't know how things were going to work out. There were times I did not know how things were going to work out. But guess what? They worked out anyway. And they were my motivation in times of the dark times and the times where I didn't want to keep going. I had to keep going. Like I had no, if I loved them, I would have to keep going. There was times I would just want to really there was the time I was like, all right, maybe I will be better off with your dad, and maybe I got to figure out what to do. And I just couldn't do it because I was like, I can't leave any kid behind. And, that was the dark time. And I was like, maybe I should just check myself into like a mental institution or something. And I know people are gonna be like, "That's so crazy," but sometimes you feel that pressure so bad. It's a spiritual kind of pressure, and you can feel like that, but not actually be crazy. It's just like you just cannot handle it no more. And I had to just be like, you know what? And I just took a step, and I remember I had to put Emmanuel in childcare, and I took that one step, and I cried, but I was like, this is for the best. And I put him in daycare and I got a little bit because it's a 24-hour job. Because mind you, the boy, the boy don't sleep, so he's up at 3 in the morning, and I think he was staying up until 3, and and um and so I was like sleep deprived and going through it. So those were like one of the darkest days of it was a lot of dark days where people were doing bad things to us. Like I think some of my darkest days when people interfered. It wasn't the struggle. It was when outsiders hurt us. It was when outsiders mistreated us. It was when outsiders try to determine our future. But God, when God is in charge, they can only do so much. God like to move the pieces out the puzzle. You think God not doing stuff, and you be like, well, how that happen? Well, how you get that person out the way? And it be God the whole time. He's not gonna be like, I did this and that. By the way, P.S. wrote a letter, and you could thank me later. But it's God. If you pay attention, you can see that it was God moving pieces because you can't make horrible people move around. You can't make them do nothing. So when they start moving around, you can tell that it's God. So we had to go through all of these dark days. And for us to have a beautiful day like this, like some of the times where I lighten things up by going to travel, I put us at risk because I knew we ain't had no place to stay after. We did not know where we was going after, but I was like, we've been through some dark times. Let's go travel. Let's go take a break, you know? And I don't regret it, but I did regret like not having a place to stay afterwards. We tried to get a place. It was too crazy. Before we left town, I was gonna take them all around, and then before we left town, right, this lady was trying to show us a place. I was like, well, maybe we got enough just to get a place to put down when we come back. Why this lady had so many roaches there that a roach was crawling on her shoulder, and I was like, "You had a roach on your shoulder?" And she's like, "What?" And she's wiped it off, like, "Oh, these tenants are so nasty." Why would you even try to rent a place and you know it has roaches? No, you're nasty. What? I was like, never mind. I said I had the heebie jeebies and I ran out, infested, and trying to rent it out. I could not. And so I was just like, well, we're just going to trust God, baby. You know, listen. And we did not take that place, but we still ended up getting a place. So watching them dance and smile and have room to like laugh and be joyful, and there was times where there was like, "Mom, when are you getting married? When you getting married?" Or "Mom, please stop hyping it up. Like if it wait till the time. Don't pressure." Like, for them to sit there in the first we had two ceremonies. One was private and one was public. So May 17th we got married, and June 17th we got married. July, sorry. May 17th and then July 17th. It just happened that way. We did not plan it. God planned it. So the May 17th one was in my pastor's office, and my kids were bawling. And I have the photos to show, and they really, really they were emotional. The tough ones were emotional, and they were just happy for their mom. They were happy. They were there when I had the breakups and almost had the mental breakdowns because I couldn't understand like why people treated me a certain kind of way. You know, when you have light inside of you, people try to take advantage of that. You know, I don't know what sign on my forehead says every every jerk apply. You know, like I just like the first really cool, second really cool guy, like first really 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 cool guy that just loved me right, ended up being my husband now. So they just be like, why don't people like my mom? She's so great, but they see all of it. But the enemy, he wants to tear you down. So they see the spiritual side, they see all of that. Like when you have like anointing on your life, like you get beat up the most, like you really do. And my kids witnessed all of that, and they were able to come on the other side, laugh, dance. Like my family did not end. It changed, it grew, it did not die, it multiplied, it more, the room that I got married in, everybody that was there loved us. I mean, they absolutely adored us. And there was a few stragglers, but hey, they have some deep down love too. That's why they showed up. Good for now. Like them. I was like, well, you showed up. Look at you. Look at you growing up, right? But just a absolute um room full of love, and my children were able to experience the love and our community and pull more people into their circle, and they were doing their TikToks and their dances and enjoying themselves. I was just like, wow, we didn't have to do that much to get that together. They were just so excited. Like they were not like being teenagers that day. They were being little kids, because teenagers gonna be sitting on their phone like no, they were up, they were dancing the entire time, had a ball. I watched my children, and I sat back and I was like, look at them. We made it. Not because I got married, but because we overcame, and they're older now, and they're not little babies anymore. They can go out there and get some stuff for themselves. My daughter was able to buy her own gown for the event and get her hair done, and got her own car. That was two of them. I didn't have to worry about two children. I had to worry about the other two, and that's it. And I got all that done. And so it's just like even more as they grow up, it's even more help. So it's just when I sat back and watched them, I was just like, nah, this was a real moment where I was just like, wow, I really made it to the other side. That was it. That was the moment where I was like, I'm making to the other side. I had to explain to them why bad things were happening, and believe and trust that it's going to be okay, you guys. So many speeches, so many times that like they had to motivate me. Like I go to work and I'm like looking crazy and I'm just like, Mommy gotta go to work. Ah, 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 just remembering those times like living in a hotel, living in um, you know, Airbnbs and living with family, and people not treating us well, and just to be on our own, and then having landlords not treat us well, and just being able to be like have at peace, finally at a place of peace. And it's amazing. It's amazing. The struggle did not destroy them. It made me tougher. It did not destroy me either. So they saw their mother choose hope. They saw their mother choose joy, open up her heart again, trust again, love again. And that is the message that I would want. If I want any of you, if you have children, hope again, open your heart again, love again, and just know that God has something special for you. When you trust God and you let God choose that person, like you're going to get beyond what you ever thought, even though it don't look like what you thought it was going to look like, but there's going to be this inner joy when it's right. It's going to be inner joy when it's right. And it's not going to matter if y'all got 2 cents or $2 million, and you're just going to enjoy each other. And I do. I am so happy that my husband could facilitate this day, and he made good on his promise. So it's not just about the kids, it's about him, because he's so important to me, and that he was able to, like I remember when they were grilling him on the, at the table, like, what are your intentions with my mom? We were at Fridays. Are you going to marry her? Stuff like that. And this was like feels like yesterday, but and then they were so patient throughout the process and tell me to wait and stop stressing. So I am so happy that this happened. So my question is, have your children ever helped you realize that your family was healing, and that even though life didn't turn out the way you wanted to turn out, but they help you realize, like, wow, y'all just made it so much better by being here, and y'all made it so much better. Like, I had my kids walk in my wedding. Like, a lot of people can't say that, and it makes sense, but you know they can, but it's like, finally that, right? But this was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And so please leave me comment below if you want more stories, life lessons. I have so much more planned. We're going to get all of it together. I am changing my life, and I want you to change yours too. Do not let divorce make you a stuck person or a bitter person or angry person. Like, you can be happy again. Like, no, if I didn't tell somebody I was divorced, they would not know. They would not know. They could barely believe I have a 21-year-old, right? Because I'm always so happy. I'm always so joyful. I'm always so ready for life. What else is life bringing for me? What else am I taking from life? You understand? So we're going to get it. Like, be excited. Be like, it's not a sad story. It's just that I got to get it out. And once I get it out, I will be ready to move on, and I will be ready to like really take this to the next level. I see myself in this 100 days. Part of it in this 100 days is healing. The first 30 days, I want to do some healing, and I want a major clean out in my house, and that's what I'm working on right now. And as I talk about it, I'm feeling better. I'm like listening to the videos, playing them back, and like, oh, and just I feel the change. I feel like, yeah, I feel like this is it too. I feel like my YouTube channel about to take. It's like a dream that I had like since like 2014, or even like 2010. I got videos 2010, 17 years later again. Right? Wait, not 2027. No, 2010. 16 years, right? I'm sure I could find a 2010 video, right? Yeah, it was like 2010. Or earliest was 2013. So that's still 13 years, right? And so to see that it's about to take off, I know it's about to take off because I know what I've been doing and I've seen results. I know when things are about to go on the uptick. All I got to do is be consistent. And I'm so happy that I've been like, um, Like I did 30-day challenges before and I did them, I completed them. And so this ain't I got this, boo. Don't even worry about it. All right, y'all. See y'all later. See ya, bye.